real resistance training is only one of the key mechanisms at play here when AR density is concerned. But you want to really take advantage of those strength-based set and rep patterns, not really the bodybuilding ones. The science behind this is that it's the intensity aspect, not really the muscle fatigue one. So you want to be aiming for about 70-85% of your 1 rep max. Your reps shouldn't ideally go beyond the 8 rep range, and particular attention to compound movements. The evidence is that this AR response is influenced by the nervous system, which subsequently influences the endocrine system. Plus, it's a lot safer. Nobody's trying to tear their bicep off their humerus. There's a lot more interesting things to take note of here, such as that your AR receptors are found in more abundance and density around type 2 muscle fibers. These are kind of your fast twitch ones, which means there's more credit to this idea of strength-based exercises for greater density. This is an estimated breakdown of which muscle groups hold the greatest density. No surprises in the quads, in the glutes, in the pec major, lats, etc. I should say that this is based on PubMed research on AR, mRNA expression and the prevalence of type 2 fast twitch fibers. But anecdotally, it's also interesting to observe that if an individual took an anabolic, there is a significant explosion in the traps and in the deltoid areas first, which suggests that free-base testosterone expresses itself in the AR receptors in these areas first. Those of you that have read my Masculine Gene Expression book are aware that sexual exhaustion or satiety, excess ejaculation, decreases AR density in specific parts of the brain, namely the medial preoptic area, ventromedial hypothalamic nucleus, and the NACC. As you can see here in the pink column, sexual exhaustion has shown evidence to reduce AR density by more than 50% in the medial preoptic area of the brain. It's also interesting to me to see that this is affected even after 1 ejaculation. Masculine theory is all about being rational and logical, gentlemen, and as much as I bring you esoteric content, I will always steel man some of these major claims. And to be honest, it is scientific, but this science namely was done on rats, which does mean, of course, this doesn't necessarily mean the same effects will be found in humans. The difficulty with getting this data, however, is that they had to kill the subjects to examine these areas of the brain. Sadly, it's not high on many people's agendas to masturbate into oblivion, be unalived, and then had a lobotomy performed on them. Unless there are any volunteers, we'll stick to the rats then. What does strengthen this point is that this study has also been replicated on mandarin voles. So while again you couldn't necessarily say that this happens in humans, you could say that there is continuity of these effects in some parts of the animal kingdom, a kingdom that we are still a part of, at least for now. I do detail this out explicitly in my book, but in case you're thinking, why is this worth knowing? These areas of your brain, they regulate human behaviors like mood, energy, drive, sexual dominance, and overall homeostasis. Meaning if your AR receptor closes, or more scientifically is not sensitive or receptive to testosterone, it will downregulate these behaviors. In essence, free-base testosterone can't bind to these receptors in the brain and express testosterone. Of course, having higher levels of testosterone won't hurt you. Won't go into much detail here. It's all in my book down below. There's a lot of merit in the idea of mitigating endocrine disruptors, BPA, phthalates, things like that. Also in my book. I'll just give you with one last bit of free game. L-carnitine has evidence of 15.2 increase in AR density in skeletal muscles, especially in the vastus lateralis, which is kind of the lateral part of your quadricep. And this is after supplementing the L-carnitine at approximately 2 grams per day. And that is not a theory. It is a fact. Speak soon.